you know that a standard jar of Nutella contains 404 grams of sugar? That's absolutely insane, and about 56% of the jar coming from sugar, where my healthy homemade version contains just a third of a cup of unrefined coconut sugar, and it tastes 10,000 times better. It only contains 6 ingredients, and the hardest part is just blending up the hazelnuts. For this recipe, you're gonna need 5 cups of raw hazelnuts. Just toss those onto a baking tray, and then you're gonna put them in the oven at 425 Fahrenheit for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just watch them carefully in the last 2 to 3 minutes so that they don't burn. Mine got a little bit overdone because my baby was distracting me, so just be careful of that. I just picked out the ones that were too burnt. And now I'm gonna take the skins off. So to do that, I just popped it onto a towel. I'm gonna flip the towel over and then just kind of rub the hazelnuts around until the skins come off. If some of them stay on, that's totally okay. You just want to get off as many as you possibly can. You can use either a high-speed blender or a food processor for this recipe. I just prefer to use my food processor for nut butters because I find it doesn't stick to the sides as much compared to a blender like a Vitamix. Scoop up the hazelnuts and discard the skin, and then place them into your food processor. Hazelnuts can be on the little bit more expensive side, so I like to get them at Costco if I can, or like a bulk store. Also, I used raw hazelnuts and then roasted them, but you could also just get them pre-roasted and then just pop them right into your food processor. I'm just gonna blend this up now until it is nice and smooth and creamy. If you've ever made nut butter before, you know how much of a pain it can be sometimes, and it can take like 20 minutes to blend. But what I love about Nutella is that hazelnuts are really, really easy to turn into nut butter. So this just took me like 8 to 9 minutes of blending, and you're left with this super smooth and creamy texture. There are still going to be a little bit of chunks and bits left over, but this is the consistency that you're looking for. The hard part is over, and now we just add the rest of the ingredients into the food processor. You'll need half a cup of cocoa powder, a third of a cup of coconut sugar. I like using coconut instead of white sugar because it has a lower glycemic index. It's also less processed with a touch more natural nutrients. Plus it adds a subtle caramel flavor, and it works perfectly in this spread. This is optional, but I like to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil just to make it nice and super creamy. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt to help bring out the sweetness, and just a touch of vanilla. I'm only adding half of a teaspoon in here, and that's because whenever you're making nut butters, you really want to refrain from adding any type of water-based liquid. So olive oil is okay, but you don't want to add any water, any excess amounts of vanilla, because if you do, then that seizes up the nut butter and it doesn't become creamy. It just becomes really like chunky and not spreadable, and that will completely ruin your nut butter. I'm gonna blend this up until everything is incorporated. Then from there on out, just adjust to your taste. You can add more cocoa powder if you like more of a chocolatey flavor, or some more sugar if you want it on the more sweet side. I also just like to pop off the lid and scrape down the sides just to make sure that all the cocoa powder and all the sugar and everything is mixed into the nut butter. Everything is blended smooth, and this is what you're left with, the most creamy, dreamy, luscious, delicious homemade Nutella. You guys, this stuff is so good. I just store it in a jar like this, and it will last in your pantry for, I don't know, a really long time, like probably a year or longer, but trust me, it's not gonna last that long. There are so many things that you can do with this homemade Nutella spread. You can use it as a dip for strawberries. You can drizzle it on different fruits like bananas or apples. You can use it as a topper for crepes, French toast, pancakes, oatmeals. You can even mix it into your smoothies. I love, love, love just having it, you know, old school, spreading it over some bread. I'm using sourdough here, and sometimes I even add some chopped strawberries or raspberries. Actually, most of the time I do that because, let's be honest, chocolate and strawberry or chocolate and raspberry is just an elite combo, and this is just so nostalgic. It just really brings me back to my childhood, but I just love that I can have this same Nutella flavor without all of the sugar, because guys, Nutella has a lot of sugar. It's crazy. This is so much better. So good. Really love about this compared to Nutella is that it is so nutty and hazelnutty. Once you try this, you really realize like how sugary Nutella is. It just tastes like straight sugar, where this actually tastes like a nut butter. So, so good. You guys have got to try this one. I hope that you love this homemade Nutella spread as much as me and my family do. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.